Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Thursday, October 9, 2025. And in the news this afternoon, farmer charged with murder after allegedly stabbing elderly man. A 29-year-old farmer has been charged in connection with the fatal stabbing of a 60-year-old laborer in Mount Pleasant District, St. Elizabeth on Saturday, September 20. Shamar Barnes, otherwise called the Tanso, of Lettice District, St. Elizabeth, has been charged with murder and wounding with intent following the death of Jerome Laws, a laborer from the same community. Reports from the Nain police indicate that about 10:20 p.m., Laws and Barnes were involved in an altercation when another man attempted to intervene. During the dispute, Barnes reportedly used a knife to injure the man before stabbing Laws. Police were alerted and both the injured men were taken to hospital where Laws was pronounced dead. The other man was treated and released. Barnes was apprehended on Saturday, October 4 in the parish of Portland. He was later transported back to St. Elizabeth where he was charged following a question and answer session. His court date is being finalized. Sleepy in the slumber after alleged breaches of the Firearms Act. A construction worker has been arrested and charged after allegedly threatening a man with a gun. Charged with unauthorized possession of a prohibited weapon and assault at a common law is 32-year-old Richard Levy, otherwise called Sleepy, of Main Street in Prairie St. Anne. Police alleged that about 6:40 p.m. on October 4, Levy was at a bar when an argument developed between him and the complainant. It is reported that during the argument, Levy ran out of the bar and returned shortly after with a firearm. He then allegedly pointed it at the complainant. The matter was reported to the police and Levy was later apprehended. He was subsequently charged. His court date is being finalized. One person feared dead in gallery apartment fire in New Kingston. One person is feared dead in a fire incident at the Gallery Apartments on Oxford Road in New Kingston on Thursday morning. It is understood that a major fire broke out at the apartment complex located across the road from Emancipation Park sometime after 3 a.m. The cause of the fire has not yet been ascertained. It is believed that a man perished in the fire. Firefighters and the police personnel were on the scene. The news will have more information on this developing story as it becomes available. Driver escapes a serious injury in crash allegedly caused by spilled construction material. A minivan driver narrowly escaped a serious injury after his vehicle skidded off the White Horses Main Road in the vicinity of Shady Spring in St. Thomas before slamming into a nearby ditch. Police report that the incident occurred sometime after 6 p.m. Wednesday and that the occupant of the vehicle received minor injuries. Investigators suggest the accident may have been caused by spilled sediments on the roadway from trucks carrying construction material, a long-standing problem that has resulted in several accidents in recent months. In May, Minister with responsibility for works, Robert Nestor Morgan, called for the police to increase enforcement action against the truck drivers whose vehicles spill cement, concrete mix, and other construction materials on the roadways. Section 97 of the Road Traffic Act 2018 makes it a criminal offense to cause materials such as concrete mix, garbage, or oil to spill onto the roadways, Morgan noted in a statement. Offenders who are found guilty can be fined up to $300,000 or 3 months imprisonment, he noted. Section 97(2) also empowers the authorities to recover the cost of road repair as a civil debt in the parish court. FLA seizes firearm of alleged soldier involved in road rage incident. The Firearm Licensing Authority has seized the gun of a man believed to be a soldier who was caught on video assaulting another man during a road rage incident along Constant Spring Road in St. Andrew. The incident reportedly occurred on Monday. The FLA confirmed the seizure of the firearm and also said a formal probe has been launched into the matter. The authority is also reminding licensed firearm holders that if investigations find them liable of using their firearm contrary to the rules and the guidelines, the board will immediately revoke their permit. Acting Superintendent of Police in charge of St. Andrews Central, Mark Harris, said an official report has been made. The incident reportedly began along Eastwood Park Road in the jurisdiction of the St. Andrews Central Police. The news understands that prior to the road rage incident, a car chase ensued along sections of Constant Spring Road into the St. Andrews North Police Division. The short video, seemingly captured by a passenger in a vehicle, has gone viral. Checks by the news on Monday revealed that the person who brandished the firearm is reportedly a member of the military. The police had said they are looking into that aspect of the matter. The news gathered that the road rage incident occurred after a white Toyota Probox motorcar hit a gray SUV and allegedly failed to stop. The police say they expect the accused to report to them soon. Police probing fatal stabbing in Limehall, St. Anne. A man was stabbed to death in St. Anne Tuesday night, becoming the 49th murder victim in that police division since the start of the year. The deceased man is 38-year-old Roy Paul Aniki of Tracyville, Limehall. He was reportedly stabbed and killed in his community by unknown assailants about 11:45 p.m. The St. Anne's Bay Criminal Investigation Branch is probing the murder. The division, as at October 4, recorded 48 homicides. This is 8 more, or a 20% increase over the last year for the period under review. St. Anne is also the only of 19 police divisions to currently have an increase in murder year on year. The division, however, runs a second to St. Andrews South, which leads the nation with 61 homicides so far this year. The top 5 is rounded out by St. Catherine South 45, St. James 44, and the St. Catherine North 43 murders. Buchanan turns to Supreme Court after failed bid to void the election in Prime Minister's seat. People's National Party candidate Paul Buchanan, who lost his bid to overturn the election result in Prime Minister Andrew Holness's constituency of St. Andrew West Central, has filed a lawsuit before the Supreme Court challenging the decision of the constituted authority to reject his claims of election irregularities. The suit was filed Wednesday morning by his attorney, Hugh Wildman. Mr. Buchanan and his legal team have applied for leave to seek a judicial review of the decision of the constituted authority. Last week, the constituted authority, which monitors election day activities in accordance with Section 44 of the Representation of the People Act, dismissed his request to avoid Andrew Holness's victory. Andrew Holness received the 7,054 votes to 4,953 for Mr. Buchanan in the September 3 general election. Since then, Mr. Buchanan has argued that there were irregularities, including violence and intimidation, in the Olympic Gardens and Malines Gardens divisions that impacted the outcome of voting. Mr. Buchanan has submitted several affidavits from himself and others in support of the request. But in its ruling, the constituted authority argued that, after careful consideration of the affidavits and relevant to case law, it found that the evidence presented did not satisfy the standard contemplated by the wording of Section 37E, resulting in its position. In an interview with the news on Wednesday afternoon, Mr. Wildman argued that the constituted authority erred in law when it refused to submit Mr. Buchanan's case to the election court for a determination of the allegations.
Their job is to determine whether there is credible evidence to go to the election court. And once there is credible evidence to go to the election court, they have a duty to take it to the election court. They don't have any discretion to prevent it from going. So what they did is to usurp the function of the election court. And so by failing to do that, by failing to refer to the election court, we are asking the Supreme Court to intervene and to quash their decision and to compel them by way of a mandamus to send it to the election court to consider whether the election in West Central should be voided.
Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.